Hey, everybody, we have great podcasts over on whatsoundsawesome.com or wherever you find fine free podcasts. But you know what the best podcasts are? New podcasts, fresh, unopened Christmas morning podcasts. And right now we got two that you should go unwrap right now. We have the Uncensored Pharmacist, where Miranda and Rachel, actual pharmacists in the real world, are bringing you the straight dope here on the podcast to help you navigate the pharmacy and all of your needs as you try to navigate the world of health, trying to find what works best for you and your family. That's the Uncensored Pharmacist podcast with Miranda and Rachel. And also we have Movies Are Us, brought to you by the Thank the Light crew, talking about all the great movies that have been brought to us through play. Toys, video games, board games, all the great toys that we used to and continue to play with that have been brought to us in the live action world or animated of Hollywood. That's Movies Are Us, the Uncensored Pharmacist podcast, and all the other great shows brought to you by We Mixed It over at the Sounds Awesome Network at whatsoundsawesome.com. Find them there or wherever you find fine free podcasts. Now enjoy this podcast. Pink-Eye Sedai, and these are my wolf brothers.
I'll be your penicillin Sedai. Your eye drops Sedai. Pink-Eye Sedai.
I will be your oh my Sedai instead. Jesus, you guys are on it.
I don't officially have it, but Cormac's had it, Kelly's got it, and my eye feels a little twitchy tonight. Like
you're gonna get it.
There's some cold going around that just comes with pink eye. And
oh, sweet.
And Kelly yelled at me tonight, like, because I'm getting on I'm going to Seattle on Monday. I don't fucking care. And so, like, even just because my eye felt even just a little bit weird, I was like, fuck it. And I took a couple of Cormac's drops. I'm like, I'm just gonna get ahead of this, whatever it is. And Kelly's just like, you can't take that until you have it. And I'm just like, fine. Then I'll take it tomorrow when I have pink eye.
Yes, I can. That's how medicine works. I'm gonna.
Fine.
Like I put fucking turtle poop water in my eye, so I'll put this in my eye.
Oh, you know what? Welcome to the Wheel of Time podcast. We are your true source, the purest light, your companion cast, a warder, if you will, for this journey through all things Wheel of Time. Haven't said that in 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what my sister's been doing, Justin? She has been giving Jensen's gecko shots daily to cure his mouth rot.
Wow. Okay.
It looks just like Happy. Like, you know, he doesn't have the smiley face. I mean, all gecko.
Why does he have mouth rot? Did he do too much chewing tobacco? Or?
Yeah.
It must have been something like
he numbed tobacco crickets.
I mean, who knows what?
She's trying to switch him over to Zins, but he just keeps spitting them out.
He's got a problem.
I need that. That's where my life is at. I'm back on the nicotine gum for the first time in 4 months.
I thought I saw you fucking sawing away like a meth head on your fucking jaw.
So you do the gum, not the Zins, like everybody else. Everybody loves those Zins, man. Even people who never smoked before.
Well, the thing about the gum is that there's non-nicotine versions of gum. Like, because I just want something to do. It's kind of like a smoker holding onto a pencil or chewing on a carrot.
Sure.
You know, so like that's how I got off the nicotine gum. I started chewing. I get the big bags of Orbits.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You should just dive straight into Copenhagen, dude. It's way better for you.
If I didn't like kissing girls, I'd cope it. Yeah. If I didn't like kissing, I mean, maybe not even girls. If I like kissing guys, if I didn't like kissing human beings, I'd chew like a motherfucker, but I cannot expect anyone to put their lips on mine.
Yeah, because if you're into kissing dogs, then they'd probably be like okay with it.
You're probably
They're probably all right with it. Yeah,
yeah, you can kiss some cowboys. That'd be all right.
You got that mint green, baby.
Yeah.
Shit.
Is that peppermint?
Yeah. I will be your High Lord of Tyr. And emphasis on the high part. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I
get it.
I smoke weed. That's what I'm saying.
We are today. We're talking about the Shadow Rising. It's been 2 months, and we have finally moved on to chapter 3. Everyone, this is a big day for Thank the Light. Shadow Rising, chapter 3, called Behind Her. No,
That was the show we were talking about.
I know. I wrote down Behind Her Eyes, and I thought I wrote down the chapter.
Oh my God, that's great. You should put that, just leave it in there. Just leave it in there. Let people look for it.
You know what's behind her eyes, Jeremy? Reflections.
That's true.
You know
My dreams.
Do you know whose mic isn't turned on? Justin's.
Shut your mouth. It's on now, bitch. I'm sorry. I was yelling at my dog because he's like, wah, 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 wah. I'm like, shut your mouth.
Shut your doggy mouth.
Why are you crying? It's such a little baby.
He heard you talking about making out with him. With some Copenhagen in your mouth.
Uncle Dad, he's coming next week. I don't want to.
Not again. Please.
Not again. I already have tooth problems.
What the fuck is this chapter about, Justin? What is this? What do we read? Is this the Wheel of Time? What is it?
Okay, so this is the Wheel of Time, and it has nothing.
Who's Robert Jordan?
Look, Robert Jordan wrote these books. It has nothing to do with the show. It's so great.
He's coming around, folks. He's coming around.
You guys have crushed me, dude. I quit. Like I have no fight left in me, honestly. Like I gave everything I had to that White Cloaks discussion to try to like defend it. Like I did my level best.
You did well. You did well.
Like it was all I had, and I don't like I'm gonna need some positivity from the show, I think, before I can like it's man, that's a hard soapbox to stand on. We had like basically you and those two guys, and like the other there's more of them, and they didn't show up. So there could have been 4 of them just taking big old fat dumps on me. So at least it was fun.
Even if this show turned around and was awesome, I am still gonna call it the Wheel of Prime. That was the best thing I got from the White Cloaks.
Agreed.
And that's like, that is like that is fighting words for sure. People are like, what? And it's like, look, it is what it is, like, and you know what? I made my peace with it because honestly, I was reading some of the fucking stupid comments. I was like, oh, I'll go read the comments. And believe me, some people were not a fan of my white guilt at first. There's literally a comment that's fuck your white guilt or some shit like that. And I'm just like, easy, dude. It's not white guilt. I didn't do anything. I just,
calm down.
Like I said, I think that we can be supporting players in that story is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, by the end, they're like, Fatty's cool. At least you can have a conversation with them. You should have, they're like, we want to have him on for like rewatches with us.
Oh, you should, man. I think that'd be great. I think
it's a good conversation.
You and Dane could just like have your own show and talk. It would just be nonstop. I think it'd be good. You guys could bounce off each other.
Match with that guy. I love that it was their host that had to say, hey, you let our guest talk, dummy. I was like, wait, is he talking to me? No, wait, no, I'm the guest. I get to talk. Sweet.
It's usually Desmond's job.
Yeah, usually Desmond's telling me to shut the fuck up.
Well, and then I had way more to say than I thought because I was just like, I don't know the Wheel of Time as well, but I just I get all riled up when
well, they hit some stuff that was like Hollywood and business, and you're very tapped in on that, and so you were fucking awesome.
Well, and my thing is and I realize why this series is so personal to people because it's it's been around a while. People read the shit out of it, and then the show came out. But even if this show was great, let's just say it's great in one form or another, half the fans would hate it too for another reason.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And it's just like every fan has written their own show and they can't make 4 billion shows. They can only make this one. And the fact that a lot of people don't like it is beside the fact that and that's my thing too. I felt the same way about Star Wars when episode 7 came out. It's like everybody had written their own episode 7. And even if episode 7 was great, 2 billion people still hate it because it wasn't their episode 7. And it's like,
I guess that's fair. But Jeremy and I talked about there are so many little things that even if they kept this show what it is, and there are a lot of things about the first season that Jeremy and I were there were little things that they could have done. I hate to keep going back to it because it's his first thing, but having Aiel be veiled until she wasn't, doing that scene better would have landed hugely. Just little things like that. Even the White Cloaks boys pointed out, the Aiel in the cage, nobody looted his pockets.
Yeah.
Like certain things just don't fucking track. Doesn't matter whether you're in The Legend of Zelda or fucking a post-apocalyptic, you're gonna check the dead man's pockets because they might fucking have something, whether it's information or money or food or medicine, that you when you're in that situation, that's what you do. And so there are many situations like that. But aside from all of the mistakes and choices that they made that I don't love with the books, there are things like that that are just kind of like, have you never played Call of Duty or an RPG? Come on. And so, like I said, one of the comments that I read is that was like, you know, it's okay to say you like it. Just also say it's bad and you like it even though it's bad. And I'm like,
yeah, I can do that.
Okay, I like it even though it's bad. I can do that.
Yes, exactly. I have said
there's someone on screen named Peril Ibarra and he talks to wolves. Great. It's not done the best it could be. Okay. I wish they look more like dire wolves? Of course, but I don't really care that much. I mean, I definitely care, but it's like, it's better to have it there than I've never had it made, I guess, is in my opinion. And like, there are definitely people, this guy right here who would disagree with me. I'm pointing to fucking Jeremy's dumb face right now. He wishes it never would have gotten made. Desmond probably wishes it never would have gotten made because then he wouldn't be on this stupid podcast with me. But I am glad for it because I get to talk to my cousin who I haven't seen really and been close with since I was a kid, and I miss my boy Des. So fuck it. And movies are us, bitch.
This is literally the only good thing that is coming out of the TV show is this podcast, and maybe for nobody else, but for the three of us, we enjoy getting together and hanging out.
Well, like Justin said, if this is how we get to movies are us, then that's fine because that's our $1 million idea.
Exactly.
I think of it this way, Des or Jeremy, we get to drag Des through these books a chapter at a time, if nothing else.
Yes. Welcome to our pain.
It's not pain.
No, it is because
it's going to make Desmond a better man.
Well, it's Desmond's pain because Desmond does not like reading.
That's why we're going to hold his hand and fucking I'll hold his dick, you hold his hand, and we'll get him to the end.
Well, you know what's great? In 15 years, when you finally drag me through the end of these books, they'll probably reboot it and we'll get a good show and then we can keep doing it.
That's all I care about, Des. We'll start another one.
Exactly.
In our 60s.
We won't start another one. This will just keep going. This will just roll.
That's fine by me.
Roll right into the Wheel of Time reboot.
Let's have a stroke. We're good because I can talk.
That's true.
Woo!
So back to the chapter at large.
Yes.
So we're fresh off the bubbles of evil. We're still in the Stone tier. What we're doing is basically the end of the next chapter. The beginning of the next chapter, Perrin's going to see Rand, and he shows up fresh off of his bubble of evil, and Rand's just kind of sitting there, basically bleeding out. I mean, Rand is just covered head to toe in cuts and bleeding, and he just kind of sitting there with Callandor across his lap. And this is something that here's the reason why they won't show it in the show, Jeremy, for analytical purposes. They haven't conveyed the fact that it's horrifying to be a man that can channel. They definitely convey that you go mad a little bit, but Perrin shows up and is like, "Oh God, he's a bloody mess," and then Rand doesn't say anything. He's just kind of sitting there, basically naked with Callandor across his knees, bloody as fuck. And he's just like, did you just try to kill? Like, Perrin is thinking that the bubble of evil has to do with Sidene and Rand, which it doesn't. But he just walks up going, oh, fuck, is this when he goes mad and kills everybody already? Holy shit. That's and so you don't have that fear and that heightened like holy shittedness in the show of men who could channel. So I don't think that they will, that scene won't land the same if they try to do it. So
yeah, that's the one thing that I was gonna say is Perrin's like, what the heck, Rand? Why are you trying to kill me? And then he's like, I'm gonna go talk to him about it.
He's like, bruh, I gotta talk to my boy. He tried to kill me. It's like, it is so not that black and white, Blacksmith. Let's go.
Yeah. Then he goes upstairs and he's like, it might be something different.
Yeah, what the fuck? He's like, I'll get Moraine. Jesus, I hate Aes Sedai, but I'll go what we're basically listening to is the last, 10 minutes or so of the chapter. And Moraine is hitting some stuff about, we'll get it on the next chapter, but Matt goes immediately to Tom. That's his like, oh God, what the fuck is going on? And, we should get out of here. Perrin goes to talk to Rand immediately and then goes and gets Moraine and Lan. So, but you get a lot of stuff in this last 10 minutes and, you get some Forsaken stuff. You get some one power limitation stuff. You get some stuff. I can't remember exactly what I have written down, but so a few things that kind of we've got in the show, like little bits and pieces of already, like hints at it, like just small stuff. And you just get to see Jeremy was pointing out Aiel and Perrin, you get to see their dynamic as they're walking to see Rand. and we're not going to hear that, but if you listen to this chapter, you get to see some of their dynamics. She's already kind of coaching him up how to be a ruler. And you're finding that, she's not just some hunter of the horn that kind of, attach herself to the party. She's much, much more. And if you're reading between the lines, you can really see that starting now with Aiel. So just
The Shadow Rising, Chapter 3, Reflections, 29 minutes and 30 seconds.
Stubborn, Moraine muttered. This time the word was for Rand. Very well. If you mean to stand there until you drop, you can use the time before you fall on your face to tell me what occurred here. I cannot teach you, but if you tell me, perhaps I can see what you did wrong. A small chance, but perhaps I can. Her voice sharpened. You must learn to control it, and I do not mean just because of things like this. If you do not learn to control the power, it will kill you. You know that. I have told you often enough. You must teach yourself. You must find it within yourself. I did nothing except survive, he said in a dry voice. She opened her mouth, but he went on. Do you think I could channel and not know it? I didn't do it in my sleep. This happened awake. He wavered and caught himself on the sword. Even if you could not channel anything but spirit asleep, Moraine said coolly, and this was never done with spirit. I was about to ask what did happen. Perrin felt his hackles rising as Rand told his story. The axe had been bad enough, but at least the axe was something solid, something real. To have your own reflection jump out of mirrors at you. Unconsciously, he shifted his feet, trying not to stand on any fragments of glass. Soon after he began speaking, Rand glanced behind him at the chest, a quick look, as if he did not want it observed. After a moment, the slivers of silvered glass that were scattered across the lid of the chest stirred and slid off onto the carpet as though pushed by an unseen broom. Rand exchanged looks with Moraine, then sat down slowly and went on. Perrin was not sure which of them had cleared the chest top. There was no mention of Berelain in the tale. It must have been one of the Forsaken, Rand finished at last. Maybe Samael. You said he's in Ilion. Unless one of them is here in Tyr. Could Samael reach the stone from Ilion? Not even if he held Callandor. Moraine told him. There are limits. Samael is only a man. Not the Dark One. Only a man. Not a very good description, Perrin thought. A man who could channel, but who somehow had not gone mad. At least not yet. Not that anyone knew. A man perhaps as strong as Rand, but where Rand was trying to learn. Samael knew every trick of his talents already. A man who had spent 3,000 years trapped in the Dark One's prison. A man who had gone over to the shadow of his own choice. No, only a man did not begin to describe Samael. Or any of the Forsaken, male or female. Then one of them is here in the city. Rand put his head down on his wrists, but jerked himself erect immediately, glaring at those in the room. I'll not be chased again. I'll be the Hound first. I will find him or her, and I will... Not one of the Forsaken, Moraine cut in. I think not. This was too simple, and too complex. Rand spoke calmly. No riddles, Moraine. If not the Forsaken, who? Or what? As the seals holding the Dark One's prison weaken, she said after a time, it may be inevitable that a... miasma will escape even while he is still held. Like bubbles rising from the things rotting on the bottom of a pond. But these bubbles will drift through the pattern until they attach to a thread and burst. Light! It slipped out before Perrin could stop it. Moraine's eyes turned to him. You mean what happened to Rand is going to start happening to everybody? Not to everyone. Not yet, at least. In the beginning, I think there will only be a few bubbles, slipping through cracks the Dark One can reach through. Later, who can say? And just as Tav'eren bend the other threads in the pattern around them, I think perhaps Tav'eren will tend to attract these bubbles more powerfully than others do. Her eyes said she knew Rand was not the only one to have had a waking nightmare. A brief touch of a smile, there and gone almost before he saw it, said he could keep silent if he wished to hold it secret from others. But she knew. Yet in the months to come, the years, should we be lucky enough to have that long, I fear a good many people will see things to give them white hairs, if they survive. Matt, Rand said. Do you know if is he? I will know soon enough, Moraine replied calmly. What is done cannot be undone. But we can hope. Your time is running out, Rand, Moraine said. The Tyrans are becoming used to you, after a fashion, and no one fears what is familiar as much as what is strange. How many weeks or days before someone tries to put an arrow in your back or poison in your food? How long before one of the Forsaken strikes? Or another bubble comes sliding along the pattern? Don't try to harry me, Moraine. He was blood-filthy, half-naked, more than half leaning on Callandor to stay sitting up. But he managed to fill those words with quiet command. I will not run for you either. Choose your way soon, she said. And this time, inform me what you mean to do. My knowledge cannot aid you if you refuse to accept my help. Your help? Rand said wearily. I'll take your help, but I will decide, not you.
Okay, I have ADD, so let me get a few things out before I forget. First of all, in that 10 minutes, there is so much fucking shit that is really important to the entirety of the story. I don't know, Jeremy, if you'd agree or not. We'll get into that. But I just want to give a little bit of background. Right before Perrin comes, he's walking with Aiel. He sees Berylin leaving Rand's room, and she gets cornered immediately by a High Lord of Tyr who's trying to flex on her. You don't know what's going on. And she's like, oh, feeling your eyes? He's like, no, I'm way more concerned with why the fuck she's terrified and probably has blood on her. And then why is this dude cornering her trying to flex on her when she's in a nightgown, running away scared. So Perrin's like, even though Perrin he comes off as like, oh, he fucking picks up on everything, right? And you're really seeing Perrin come into his own in Shadow Rising. It's one of the reasons why I like this book so much. You can see Fael kind of coaching him up in like nobility. Sorry, I'm just trying to go through this really fast because I want to get through it. Perrin is immediately annoyed by the lick-spittle attitude of how he's treated by people because he's Rand's friend. He's just like, he immediately, and he's like, he thinks he's being super polite when he talks to one of the High Lords, and Fael immediately chastises him afterwards. She's like, dude, if you're gonna like do this, you got to learn how to get along with these people. He's like, what? What's the problem? And she's like, you're a prick. But it's like, he was like, overly polite Perrin, that like, I'm gonna over enunciate everything I say because you're too stupid for me to understand, is what I'm picturing, And Berylyn is someone you'll learn as you go around. She's not easily scared or cowed. She is a tough lady, and how much, like Jeremy said, she never even, I don't know if she's ever in the same room as Rand again.
She is, but it's later.
Definitely not alone either.
Yeah.
And she, she is very cowed and afraid, and that's not easy to do for her. So that should let you know the magnitude of that situation. And like I said, Perrin's like, I'm way concerned with why she's leaving Rand's room, completely fucking terrified. What's going on? The description of the Aiel, how they're around, and if they weren't around, would Rand feel as secure as he is feeling in Tyr right now? The mentioning of he who comes with the dawn at the end, like if it's not Rand, we'll keep fucking looking. Basically, like it's not a big deal. It's like, this is the dragon he can channel. It's got to be him. And if it's not him, we're all fucked. They're kind of like, if it's not him, it's probably some other guy. And you really get a feel with that last conversation with Ruark of how dangerous and kind of mysterious the Aiel are, because they're like, look, we've survived worse, so we'll just keep going. So you get a little insight into the Aiel. You're seeing that Rand is really becoming, he's very intelligent for just being, fresh out of his village, but he's also starting to get that hardness of like Jeremy said last episode, he's walking that razor edge of anxiety and duty. And that's one of the big things that another thing we don't see in the show is him training with Lan, the mentorship from Lan, the sense of duty. Rand already has it because of his dad, but Lan really grows that to like, Rand ends up being a king, and a great king, because he cares about everyone and his empathy for everyone. And part of that comes from Lan. And one of the things in this scene is Lan kind of, I don't know if it's, Jeremy, would you say disagreeing with Moraine, but kind of siding with Rand or about something. And Moraine kind of is like, the fuck, dude? Like, you're supposed to have my back. Immediately you can see there's a moment between them. There's
a thing that Lan does that he basically is like, hey man, you're gonna have to grow up. You still have these dreams where everything's black and white, and there's gonna have to be times when you might have to like kill somebody that you don't want to have to kill, or you might have to send you might tell somebody that they have to go kill somebody. You might have to send your armies to fight somebody that you actually like, or something like that.
So he respects the altruism, but he's like, we got to be realistic, dude.
And he's like, you got to grow up. And Moraine has to make those decisions already. And you act like, you're higher than she is, or, smarter than she is. And you're not. She has to make those decisions. And you know what? You're going to have to make those very soon. So you better start to realize it.
And what's funny, too, is, zipping into the future, when Moraine does come back around, when she sees Rand and their reunion, it's really heartwarming, because Rand realizes how much he needed her and how much he loves her as a friend and a person who's had his back since day one. Whether she started off having his back because she needed to do it for the world, right? But eventually she had his back because she cared about him. They were friends. And Rand, you really get to see Rand drops to his knees, I think, and kisses her hands. And he's just like, I'm so glad you're back, And, she's also amazed by how much he's grown, because he goes through this whole cycle where he is at a point when he sees her again, where he acts and talks and thinks like Lews Therin. He behaves like someone who's 3,000 years old, and he treats everyone else like that too. And Moraine, he immediately is humbled when she comes back. And it's a really great scene in the books. And I think that was written by Sanderson too, actually. I mean, probably notes by Robert Jordan, but I thought it was really, really good and really amazing. That you do get an explanation of healing in this, about how a certain amount of the healing, they've been hitting this in the show. This is one of the things they do hit in the show, is that Nynaeve's healing is different than everybody else's, and it doesn't require as much strength from the person you're healing. So it doesn't take, they can go fight immediately, as opposed to, I got to rest and eat for a week so I can recover type of thing. Moraine mentions that, basically implies that Rand might have done this channeling in his sleep, which is something that we see in the show that is supposed to, she explains right there, not to be a white cloak about this, but she explains how you can only channel spirit in your sleep. And he wakes up in the show channeling fucking fire, continuity and magic mechanics issues right fucking there. If you really, like, if nothing else, like that one's pretty black and white, right?
Yep.
So those are the things that happened before this clip. Sorry. You guys tell me what you think about the clip. I'm sorry.
Great clip. Lots of clips.
It's all. I'm having.
No, remember it because you just talked for 10 minutes, dumbass.
I'm having a hard time digesting this one. It's a good clip, but it just kind of like, for me, it just kind of summed up our last 3 clips, which is a good thing. And I think that it makes it a good thing to listen to. But of course, for me, like, I don't see, any of the foreshadowing and stuff like that. It's just kind of an info dump. And, when it starts to come back around.
I guess that's true.
Is Matt just still gambling? Like,
yeah, so right now
Matt is on his way
to Tom.
Right.
Yeah. One of the things I'll say about the clip is you start to see that Rand is trying to assert his independence. He's like, he even says it in this. He's like, you might tell me what I need to do, but when I do it, it's going to be my decision. And so you could probably honestly end the clip right there. I was like, okay, go a little bit longer. But
yeah,
but right there, I think that was almost the entire point of this chapter, even if it wasn't, a lot of stuff went on after that. He's telling Moraine, because Moraine always wants to take charge, but she's
trying to push him to do what she thinks needs to be done.
And in the end, Rand is right, and she's not about this.
That's true.
Because she's like, you need to keep moving. The longer you're here, they're going to be plotting against you. And he's like, I don't know what my next move is yet. I think I know what it is, but I got to be sure. And so this whole time, he's like, I need this time. And she's urging him, you need to move, you need to move, you need to move. And she's right. If he would have stayed there a little bit too long, then they probably would have figured out a way to either have him killed
for sure,
or taken his power away.
Like I said, you get that, Moraine's trying to push him because she thinks she knows what he needs to do. And Rand's right. No one knows, but he needs to kind of like,
well, and it shows,
but at the same time,
sorry, go ahead and finish.
Got to keep moving or die, right?
And it shows the difference between the Aes Sedai, who have just kind of been, they're just used to being listened to. They're just like, we tell people what to do, and they do
it.
And then there's the Aiel, who are just kind of like rolling with it, And
no one tells us what to do. We're here because we want to be.
Yeah, and
that's what makes the Aiel so dangerous, because they're there by choice, not because of some fucked up sense of duty. Like, they're there because it's their mission.
Because Moraine is certain that she is found Rand, and she's at the end of a lifelong hunt.
Right.
And the Aiel are just like, searching for he who comes to the dawn is just a way of life. So
we knew that it was going to be about 20 years from the Aiel War, so we needed to start looking. We've been looking for a while, but we think we found you. And Moraine is just kind of like, to be fair, Moraine probably knows more about what the dragon should or maybe is supposed to be doing than anybody alive, but she's still not the dragon, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny because he ends up going in a totally different direction than she would have ever wanted him to go. She's actually trying to tell him to go east, right? Or west, because she wants to, like,
she's telling him to attack Ilion, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. She wants to consolidate his power. And he's just like, I'm going to go to the waste. And she's like, wait, what?
Yeah, she was like, attack Ilion, go to the borderlands, like, try to like consolidate some power somewhere. And he's just like, I'm going to go here.
Who is?
And then
this is again, sorry, I'm digesting a lot.
It's a lot.
Who's Ruark?
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Oh, yeah. So Ruark is one of the first people. You would never know this, but there are male Aiel. You would never know this if you watch the TV show. You would think that it's like a race of Amazon.
They also wear veils.
Yeah, they do. And the men wear them too. So Ruark is one of the leaders that has taken his like guys across the dragon wall to come look for he who comes with the dawn.
He was one of the first clans, right?
Yeah, he was, and so he becomes very close with Rand, and he's probably like what would you say, he's the highest ranked? I mean,
he's kind of like the unofficial, like the clan chief of the clan chiefs. They kind of, the other clan chiefs who've crossed the dragon wall kind of defer to Ruark for
they really respect it
for whatever reason.
So only Rand told his story of the bubble of evil. Perrin didn't, right? So right now they think just Rand
Right.
had his.
Well, Moraine, that was another thing. He says, no, nothing happened to me. And Moraine looks at him like, fucking quit lying, dude.
Yeah. You lying.
And then, there, and the reason why, I've listened and read this. The reason why is she may have other reasons, but for specifically this scene, he tells on himself by going, "Is Matt okay?" 'Cause it's like, well, why would you be worried about Matt if nothing?
Why would
happened
Matt not
to you?
be okay?
Why would Matt not be okay if nothing happened to you, you big dummy? Yeah, so you kept the Perrin in his life for sure. You do get some limitations on the one power. He's like, could it be Samuel? She's like, no, dude. It's like he's a country away. Like, no, he is just a human. He is just a man. But also, there's another contradiction in the show. They make a point of saying the Forsaken are not just humans. You can't just kill them. So those are the things that actually, you know what, Jeremy, I'm with you. Those are things that make me the most pissed off. I can get behind any of the choices that they made as far as like storytelling, but the things when they fucking break the canon make me crazy.
Yeah.
I don't care how gay Ishmael is. Awesome. Super great. He's a creepy villain and you identify with him a little bit as like you feel sorry for some of the villains. That's fine. That's TV. That's drama. But the things when they break the canon make me fucking nuts. And that's the thing. Like I literally I still like it because even if it's bad, but when they break the canon, that's when I get kind of mad. And I try not to get mad because I still want to enjoy it and I don't want to piss people off. But those are the things that it's getting harder and harder to look past when they break the canon. Because it's like it's someone that you supposedly, Sarah Nakamura on the show, who's supposedly the book nerd of all book nerds, and then Rafe Judkins is someone who supposedly really, really loves the show. And you have people like Rosamund Pike who love the source material, and Yosha Stradowski who love the source material. And like I get creative differences, and I get wanting to put your stamp on the story, but for fuck's sake, if no one likes it, no one's going to care. And you can't just disregard 15 books of world and canon and magic building.
Get the rules of the universe straight. Like there's
even if you're gonna tweak them for the show,
they
have to be consistent for the show.
Yeah.
I get it if they're different than the books, but they have to be consistent for the show and make sense. And that's the part where they're really dropping the ball.
Get your physics right and tell whatever story you want, but get the physics right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, get the magic mechanics and the fucking rules right.
It's like any horror movie, right? A horror movie is good if they establish their rules and then the bad guy is either defeated or wins according to those rules, right? If they screw that up, it's instantly bad. So why would you? It's the one thing. It's not the one thing. It's one of many things that drives me insane about the show.
For more Thank the Light, head on over to patreon.com/soundsawesome. That's patreon.com/soundsawesome.
Well, there's three ways that they can really handle it, right? Say they can play to their built-in audience, right? And make it more like the books, which is what I would have hoped that they would have done. So you can do that. You can totally throw out the script, right? And make it about something completely different, which I don't know if you guys ever saw the movie Wanted with Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
Nothing like the books, completely different, but it was good. I liked it, right? So it's nothing like the book. Or you can do three, and it's you throw out the books, and you still didn't make it good. So that's just I don't know who you're.
3 strikes, you're out.
Who you playing to, but you ain't playing to your core audience that you already had built in. You already had them built in.
Yeah, I hate to say it, 90 million books, right?
Right?
It's so weird for me to hear them say as Rand leaned on Callandor. Like I don't imagine Callandor as being a constantly carried sheathed sword.
You just picture it as like a glass bong, like fuck.
I picture it like what am I thinking?
It's not sheathed.
Oh, he could break that.
Or just like I just imagine him like I imagine it being something that he wills into existence when he needs it, not something that he's constantly carrying around.
He like carries it around like a fucking scepter.
Like almost more like a lightsaber, where maybe he's carrying something, but it's not the whole 6-foot sword.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that he's just leaning on it like some old man's cane while he's talking to Moraine.
He had a rough night, to be fair.
Yeah, to be fair, he did have a hard night. He tried to get, he was about to get diddled by a queen. And then he,
I'm
It was
glad
bad.
they
It was a
said
rough day.
Forsaken because I couldn't remember. I of course couldn't remember that when we were talking about the last chapter. Like they didn't say it, but I imagined his doppelgangers with flames in their eyes. Just
Oh yeah.
that's how I pictured them.
Oh,
Which I mean, if they did, God,
why?
I mean, they're evil. They're just bubbles of evil. Like they're like I didn't picture them.
That's the TV, Desmond. You got to show these guys are not good guys. Even though they're trying to cut them with swords.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're not. They're evil Rand. Like give him. He's got to have a goatee.
A goatee.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I was imagining him looking at like little Bruce Campbell's, but like miniature.
Yeah.
With goatees.
With goatees, yeah.
Goatees.
This
Jesus Christ.
is my boomstick.
When he has to say the Plato, Nicto,
Plato, Nictu, Damiano.
and then he's
Oh, God.
I forgot the last one. Plato, Nicto.
It'll be the stinger of this episode. Don't worry about it.
Oh my god.
All right, I'm tired. I got to wrap this episode up. Any last words?
Bruce Campbell is a stud.
There you go.
I love him. Ash versus Evil Dead was a really good show.
I need to watch. We just got because Kelly was had a boner for Outlander. We just got stars for a month so she could watch the last.
You're the person who has stars.
We're the ones
okay.
who have stars. Yeah.
Okay, you're keeping it alive.
So I'm watching a lot of stars this week because it's gonna go away.
You know, Evil Dead is a video game, so we can do that on Movies R Us.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Oh, while Jeremy's looking that up, we'll put it after this. Contact information. Thank you for listening to Thank the Light, the Wheel of Time podcast. Please like, subscribe, and tell a friend about Thank the Light. And please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/soundsawesome. That's patreon.com/soundsawesome, where for $3 a month, you can receive an exclusive episode every 2 weeks. If you would like to continue to support the show for free, we just ask again that you please like, subscribe, and tell a friend about Thank the Light. Check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Wolf Brothers at Parsed Ailman. We are Wolf Brothers at Parsed Ailman, or Facebook, where we are Wote: the Wheel of Time podcast. Send questions and comments to thankthelight@gmail.com. That is thankthelight@gmail.com. Looking for another great podcast to listen to while you wait for the next episode of Thank the Light? Head on over to whatsoundsawesome.com and check out our great podcast lineup. We have comedy spirituality, time travel movies, fitness and nutrition, and coming soon we have Movies Are Us, where you guessed it, we're going to be talking about movies that you could find at the wonderful brick and mortar store of Toys R Us. If it's a game, if it's a board game, if it's a video game, if it's just a good old-fashioned toy and they have turned it into a movie, we are going to discuss it very soon. Stay posted for the soon-to-be-released podcast, Movies Are Us. You can find it at whatsoundsawesome.com, along with all the answers, Truth Not Trends, Time Pop, Be Brave, and That Fitness Couple. You can find it at whatsoundsawesome.com or wherever you find fine, free podcasts. And on that note,
Jon Favreau, directed by Jon Favreau.
Oh, no way. Rad.
One of the first movies he directed. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's even better. That leads me into my finale even better because I will be pushing myself erect.
Why wouldn't you? I don't even know what to say. It's time to grow up, sheepheader. Sheathe your sword.
Yes. And I'll be your Jon Favreau fan. I don't know. Move along.
I will be your crowing cock.
There you go. I can't do
May
2
you
days
always
in a
find
row.
water and shade, you fucking chickens.
That's right. Eat rocks, you gizzards. Good night.
You're my job.
You're a chicken.
You're my Jon Favreau. No.
I am not average. I am not ordinary. I am a masterpiece. You know I do it for me. I am not perfect. No, that's imaginary. But I'm a masterpiece. You know I do it for me. And all my colors and paints, all my lines and my shapes, every move that I make, I am not basic. It's self-explanatory. I am a masterpiece. You know I do it for me. Ooh.
Say the words. Klaatu, Barada.
Mixed and edited by Desmond McNeese for We Mixed It, LLC. Go to whatsoundsawesome.com.
Necktie, nectar, nickel.